Well, you know, evidence-based is one of the key terms that you're hearing these days anyway.
Yes.
And they're looking for, you know, evidence for someone's improved condition, you know,
Yeah.
what they've come in at and what they've left at.
Right.
To be able to measure that is
Right.
the key, you know.
So there are a couple of ways we can do it. That's actually, Lincoln, it's as if you are like, know my script. This is really,
You probably already read my script. I read it online. I just posted it last night.
but actually one of the things that we are also designing is one is you can measure, a therapist can measure what they need to measure already, okay? The bands are color coded. You can measure what they started with. They started with a yellow, they finished with the blue.
Mhm.
Okay, you can double band it. You can have as many bands as you want.
Mhm.
That's number one. Number two is we're designing an electronic, we designed a sensor, we already designed it, but that's probably 2012. But we designed a sensor for the band. So that allows me to measure repetition, range of motion, and repetitions.
Oh, interesting.
So you put a sensor on the thing and
I-
it tells you,
Precisely. I put a sensor on the band, and because this is this is a 7.5 pound band. This is 10 inches. To get to if I get to 7.5 pounds, I know I just went 10 inches. So I know how much people are going for. And then if they're not going 10 inches, they're doing this. I know that I'm counting the reps, but it will be a touch screen and the whole thing. It'll tell them,
Oh, I
and it'll
see.
tell you. The idea is then there's an
So you get analysis. And,
you get a full
history.
analysis, and we in return get the analysis back on the back end. You know, 30 people did this for 3 months, and this is what they did. 'Cause,
Gotcha.
you know,
Levels
they-
up and
yeah.
down, whatever.
So all this is just a couple of, several steps ahead.
Yeah.
But these are not my ideas, by the way.
Mhm.
These are your ideas. That just as your mind working, when I first started introducing the concept to therapists, that is what they said. So I'm just following, I'm not that smart, I'm just following what they say.
But
They
you know,
say, I want this, I said, okay, well, we can make this.
but you know that you talk about fall prevention. That is the key. I mean, there's a high percentage. I mean, it's one of the biggest issues that we deal with and try to prevent. In
Yeah.
the for future. But having a fitness center for older adults, with multiple machines and that kind of thing.
You can
I'm not
see-
sure where the ROI is yet, or the cost versus. Is it a membership? Is it a per hour basis? Is it billed to Medicaid? Is it an OT?
You can do, I think it's all of the above, because
Let's look into that.
But that's
Let's
where,
look into
the answer to all that, Lincoln, is yes. Like, I want to know.
Yeah.
You want to know, I want to know. I can demonstrate, and it will make sense to you as a business person, how this can actually make money. You already see that. The question is, how much money, and how does it, how cost effective is it? That's a separate issue. The actual qualitatively I can show it to you. Quantitatively, that's what I want to know.
So in marketing, we could market our program and at the same time say, and we also do this program.
Precisely.
We also do this fitness program.
Precisely.
Invite a community, people come.
And you can go to
to,
senior center, or you can go to, when you have
Mobile
Gale.
fall prevention program.
Yeah. And you can go to Gale, and if Gale is trying to bring in more people here, and they're kind of on the fence, you can go to their kids and say, hey, they're still at home, understood, how about bringing them for the full prevention program 3 times a week or twice a week for 15 or 20 minutes. It's going to cost you $30 for half an hour, right? And you train 2 people at the same time. So you can do 15 minutes for half an hour. $15 for half an hour. We have those kind of written out. So
this could be called a fall prevention
yeah,
program.
by itself. That's I would suggest 2, because you can actually then create this program where you can
Hospitals,
work.
rehab centers or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So
I think
you might
one
have-
of the marketing or advantages is not so much the family, because it's really the case manager that makes the decision for what 90% of
Well,
our
service
people
right.
is a case
That's
manager.
right. That's right.
And
For
for them to
hospitals.
see, something like that, because they know falls are their
Yeah, huge.
nemesis just like ours.
Yeah. So and that's the other benefit of this machine. The kind of the final thing is that this machine is really transferable. The whole vertical spectrum. So you're talking about case managers. If case manager is interested, because you guys have it, I would love for them to invite me to the hospital, because the rehab room in the hospital can use 3 or 4 of these themselves. And then, when people leave this place, they might also need something at home. And, we're developing a home unit as well, where this one works just fine. So, again, that's the key.
So you already have them in retirement communities, rehab centers, VA
Yep.
hospitals, blah, blah, blah.
I don't have it in the VA hospital yet, but again, these are potential clients. We have it in retirement communities in Seattle. We have it in a high school in Vegas for their
A
disabled
special,
kids. Special program. Do you know what's interesting about that? It was originally, that's what we got it for. And it's a big school. It's about 1,600 students. And about 30 or 40 of them are disabled, either mentally or physically. And I have videos that'll make you cry, because both of them love that. Because, autistic kids love the repetitive motion,
Yeah.
and the cerebral palsy kids love to actually do something. But the coaches, the sports team coaches started using the machine for the rehab of, there's a baseball player, that one guy had orthoscopic surgery on their knee.
Post-surgery rehab.
So yeah, because if you think about it, when you have these kids and they get injured, they go back to the same gym to get re-injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, the applications are multiple, but what I'd love to do is to create a program, to see a program in here to be kind of like the example, right? To really, we can pilot it, we can create we can create a marketing piece around it, we can get some PR that's gonna be good for both you and Fitness Art. Yeah, all of the above.
So we're suggesting a collaborative relationship. We're not, where everybody wins. It's a win-win for the client and for you all and for Leo as well.
And because we're a local company, it's going to be very much a very hands-on experience. So I could be as involved in this program as you would like me to be. Obviously, if I'm actually going to design the program, whatnot, that would take a lot of my time. So we'll work on that. But as far as getting you set up, that really comes with the equipment.
I do like the fact that you can use it while they're in a wheelchair,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the key.
that they can stretch their legs out, because a lot of my guys over there don't move at all. They're like this all day long.
Yeah.
So the thought of them being able to do extensions, that's
And
good.
stand,
Right, and that's what's wrong with my mom.
just to be able to stretch, just to
Yeah.
be able to stretch, and stretch themselves. That's the other piece. Sorry to tell you so many stories, but it seems you guys are interested. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. But we've done it in a hospital setting as well, and we've tested it, and it was really neat. The best thing I've seen, the most impressive thing for me so far, has been in the hospital, total knee replacement patients, second day out of surgery. You know that stuff hurts,
Yeah.
and you want to just kill your therapist. And they measure their range of motion, and it's really essential to get the angle as far back as you can. And it just takes a lot of pressure. So we would sit people down. The therapist would use a goniometer to measure the angle as far as they can go, and then we put them on the machine, and we tell them, okay, you do it yourself. Put the foot in there, put the arm on there. You do it yourself. 10-degree difference.
Wow.
They increase it 10 degrees just because they are doing
They're
it
in control.
themselves. They are not afraid that the
That they're
therapist is
gonna
going to
hurt
hurt them,
themselves.
Yeah.
and the therapist is not afraid that they're going to hurt them.
The leg movement, is that something that you demonstrated? Or?
Yes, yes, and I can demo it again, or you can go online.
Yeah.
But the idea
That's
of
important, you're right.
Yeah.
arm
The
when they're
knees.
moving.
Yeah.
And the other last part is from therapy perspective is what are the options for cardio, right? You have the bike and you have a step. Neither of them work your hamstrings. No hamstrings. And how important are hamstrings,
Oh, yeah.
right? This is the only machine that I know that works your hamstring. And they can actually create this hamstring, fire the hamstring. So again, all these pieces kind of fall together
Right.
and on different levels.